We have a jam-packed episode here on Dallas Mavericks today before Game 1 of Mavs Thunder, which is tomorrow night. He's Jeffrey Cooperstein. I am Harrison Graham. We'll discuss Jason Kidd's contract extension that was announced this morning, an update for Maxi Kleber, not a great one, and a more positive update around Tim Hardaway Jr. We'll get to all those topics here on today's show. Let's get the morning news dump out of the way.
7:20 in the morning.
Yeah, but bright and early. I was just waking up this morning, and Jason Kidd's got a new multi-year extension. Doesn't say how many years. I would guess 2 or 3 added to his current deal. And look, well-deserved. I tweeted this out earlier today, Coop, and I think it's valid that, look, is Jason Kidd a great head coach? I think
No.
Great's probably strong. I think he's good. I think he learned from his first 2 stops in Milwaukee and Brooklyn. I think coaching LeBron, was a benefit to his career. But the reality is, Coop, is that in 2 out of the last 3 years, they've won at least one playoff series. That is something that did not happen in Carlisle's last 10 years or 11, whatever
10,
it was.
exactly.
And 2, I really thought about this earlier, and I was listening to a podcast. Jason Timpf was talking with Cowherd on the Volume, and I thought he made a great point. Every team in the NBA hates their coach, pretty much.
Basically, yeah.
Unless you have like Spurs. I mean, even like Spurs fans, I think a few of them are probably like, maybe it's time for Pop to move on, stuff like that. So like, I think the results justify it. I think especially bouncing back from last year to get this team to 50 wins and win a playoff series. I think it makes sense. I think it's a, hey, we'll do you a solid before this series. You don't have to be on pins and needles. You can shoot the Lakers rumors to bed. Get Kidd locked up. And, look, again, he's probably not a top 5 guy, but I think right now you could make a strong argument he's a top 10 head coach in this league. And it's kind of the classic, grass ain't always greener. If you think you can upgrade, a lot of the time you can't. So I think it's a good move.
Yeah, the results speak for themselves. I mean, 3 series wins in 3 seasons as head coach. I mean, I would say 26 other teams in the NBA would take that any day of the week. So I do think he deserved this extension, and I know he rubbed some people the wrong way. I have some frustrations with him, as everybody does, but at the end of the day, it's about the relationships with Luka and Kyrie, and they love him, and Kidd gets them to play hard. I mean, what coach has ever gotten Kyrie Irving to play as hard as he's playing right now?
Oh, especially on defense.
Hasn't been one.
And I think that's really where Jason Kidd's made his money here, Coop, is it was a big part of their run 2 years ago. They had wing defenders playing at an all-time level for their careers, and Dorian Finney-Smith.
Reggie Bullock,
who, by the way, neither of those guys, since they've left Dallas, have been the same. I mean,
Reggie's going to be out of the NBA.
Yeah, I mean, Dodo's been fine in Brooklyn, but he has not been as good overall. And then this year, especially once they made their moves at the deadline, this has become a pretty clear top 10 defensive unit in the NBA after just a disaster last year, let's be honest.
And Kidd was pretty public about that, like, hey, we need to upgrade here at these positions. So Nico Harrison went out and upgraded them, and look what's happened.
He has a type. He knows what he likes. Last year, the Christian Wood thing, that did not work, and you bring in guys that fit what he wants to do, and all of a sudden you're playing better basketball. So I think it's worthy. I think it's a good move. Get it out of the way now and go focus on this second.
Let's hope this run continues as well. Let's make it. How about 6 series in 3 years? That sounds good to me.
That would be fantastic. Are you happy? Jason Kidd got an extension. Type H for happy, S for sad. Again, I'm not going to do cartwheels, but I think it's a deserved. Not promotion, but extension, and I think it makes sense for all involved. We'll be live once again here on the channel for Game 1 of Mavs Thunder tomorrow night. Tip-off 9:15 Eastern. We'll go live 8:15 Central Time, 9:15 Eastern. Sorry, tip-off 9:30 Eastern, 8:30 Central. We'll be live 15 minutes before. So be sure to join us. Those frauds in the NHL scheduled.
What a joke.
The Stars for the first several games on the same day as the Mavs. So Coop's going to be in shambles, but we'll make it work.
If you're going out to Oklahoma City, some serious weather is supposed to be going on. So please be safe out there.
Be careful, be safe. We'll have you covered. If you want to stay at home and not fight the weather,
Join
are
us.
The channel for you. All right, let's talk injuries, Coop. Maxi Kleber reevaluated in 3 weeks after a AC joint. I think they actually call it dislocation. Which,
yes, you're right. Not separation. That's
pretty,
on me.
Pretty severe sounding. And typically when they do the we'll reevaluate, that means even if it's like a good checkup, it's probably still another week.
Yep.
Because you got to work out, try to get back into game shape, all that stuff. So 3 weeks, and it's unfortunate because he was 10 of 18 from 3 in that series against the Clippers, was shooting it with confidence. Defensively, he was playing extraordinarily well. If you told me a month ago that Kleber would be unavailable for the playoffs, I'd probably be like, well, it's not that big of a deal. I do think it's a pretty big deal. I think this is a notable loss. I think it's a bigger loss potentially for the next round based on who your opponents could be. You got Jokic as a skilled big for Denver, and obviously the Twin Towers in Minnesota, and his ability to switch if he got stuck on Ant or even like a Mike Conley or someone like that in a pick-and-roll game. So I don't think this is insignificant, Coop.
Agreed.
I don't know if it'll be the difference in losing a series, but it could be. It definitely could be. There's no question.
Yeah. I think in this series they can withstand it given how OKC is concocted up, but it is definitely no small loss for the Mavericks. Maxi was excellent in the series against the Clippers, and especially if he's going to shoot, you need him on the floor, and he was playing 20 minutes. And when you look at what the Mavericks playoff rotation is, it's essentially a 7-man rotation, and they have Maxi Kleber and Derek Lively coming off the bench, and that's basically it.
Yeah,
so you're missing another rotation guy, which shortens it even more, which brings you to the fact that who's going to fill up those minutes. I wouldn't be shocked if it was Markieff Morris.
Yeah, Jason Kidd threw his name out there.
I wouldn't be shocked.
I'm pretty lukewarm on this idea, if I'm being honest. I think if you want to go to that small ball lineup occasionally, I think against the Thunder you can steal some minutes with PJ Washington at the 5. Again, I don't know if you can do that in the conference finals. It wouldn't shock me if Dwight Powell got some run at some point, especially if you do get to that next round. Look, you're looking at this, Coop, 3 weeks. Let's say he gets a good bill of health. Probably another week after that, he could maybe return for the finals.
That's what you're looking at.
Like if you got to the NBA Finals, he could return, and it's kind of a double-edged sword. If he somehow got there, it's like, well, are you going to give him a big role at that point? So I don't know. I kind of think Maxi's done for the playoffs, regardless of how this goes, which is unfortunate because he was proving people like, quite frankly, me and you, not wrong, but like,
he justified why Jason Kidd used him.
Yes, he played much better than either of us thought. And look, when you go shoot 50+% from 3, that obviously changes the narrative very quickly. But the defense alone was worthy of him getting.
Look, it's the switchability that really makes the difference because he can guard the 5. He can also guard a 2, like not pretty well, but better than most bigs.
He can hold his own. And look, middle of the season this year, you and I kind of were in agreement that his ability to switch did not look the same, and I don't know if he just got in better shape over the course of the season.
If he got more healthy,
but it seemed like he got that step back, especially by the time that first-round series rolled around. So it's unfortunate for him. It's unfortunate for the Mavs. We'll see if they turn to a Morris, if they go more guard-heavy at times. I think we're going to talk about Tim in a sec, but I think between him, Exum, and Josh Green, you're going to need at least one of those 3 to give you somewhat significant minutes. So we'll discuss that in a second. But we do want to tell you about our sponsor, Prize Picks. Shout out to Prize Picks for sponsoring today's episode of Dallas Mavericks Today. It is the best daily fantasy sports app in North America, and there's an ability for you to make money. So download the app today at prizepicks.com/CLNS. Use the code CLNS. We're getting into round 2 of the NBA and NHL playoffs. The action is heating up. This is the time to get in on all the heavy action. You got Major League Baseball rolling as well. The way it works is you pick 2 to 6 players, and if they will go for more or less than their stat projections. Coop's got a baseball entry fired off today. What do we got going, Coop?
Mavs and Stars off tonight, so let's watch the Rangers and the Oakland A's, the surprising Oakland A's this year, as the Rangers go out to Oakland. Give me Adolis Garcia more than half a total base. If he gets a walk, he gets a hit by pitch, he gets a single, you hit there. Andrew Heaney, more than 4.5 hits allowed. Heaney kind of stinks, let's be honest, so I think they'll get more than that. And then J.J. Bleday, he's one of the A's best players. I don't know if you knew that or not, but that'll be more than half a total base there for the A's. 10 to win 50 here. You pick 3. If you hit all these, you're playing rich with
just under 50 with the Goblin pick from our good pal Adolis. So 40 and change there. The Goblin pick, by the way, it lowers the stat projection, so it gives you a better chance to hit there. So kind of a safer play. PrizePicks.com/CLNS. Use the code CLNS to get started today. Link is in the comments and description of this video. That promo code means they will match you up to $100 on your deposit. Okay, Tim Hardaway Jr., the way Jason Kidd sounded, and we'll get an official injury report this afternoon or tonight, so if something changes, we'll let you know. But he basically, I'm paraphrasing here, saying, the way we look at it is, yeah, we're losing Maxi, but we're getting Tim back. That doesn't sound like a guy who's not going to be ready to go right away.
Exactly.
He went through full practice on Sunday, did no setback this time. I think he's good to go for game 1. I'm not sure how heavy his minutes will be, but I think he gets a shot probably in the second quarter in that game to see what he can do. And look, I think the Mavs at least need him, if nothing else, to just eat up some minutes here.
Yeah, because you're not getting anything from the guys that you would play over him in Dante, Exum, and Josh Green. So I think even if it's 10 minutes, they do need Tim back in the rotation. Even if he played pretty awful throughout the last 2 months of the season, he has done it in the playoffs before. And these guys really haven't. So I think that you need a Tim Hardaway Jr. Hopefully he can get his shooting stroke going. And if he gets hot, that's another weapon the Mavs have.
And you and I kind of just had this thought right now. You and I said about a month ago, maybe it'd be good if the Mavs just gave Tim like a week off.
Yeah.
Well, he's kind of had that now. So maybe, he's able to reset the mind a little bit and just go out and shoot free, and maybe he gets going. I mean, I'm not expecting first half of the season level Tim, but if he could be at least 10% better as an overall player than he was the last 2.5 months of the season.
That'd be great.
That would be huge. I thought Josh Green in particular played a little better the last game and a half, but still not to the point where it's like, hey, we know he's going to give us 20 good minutes. I'm not there yet. So between these two and Tim, I mean, if they can either combine or one of them just emerge as a legit rotation piece here, that would make a big difference.
Like we kind of discussed earlier, I mean, this rotation is short right now. It's the 5 that you see on your screen, and then Derek Lively and Maxi Kleber were the 2 that were playing legit minutes off the bench, and that was really it. So I expect him to be one of the first 3 guys off the bench here against Oklahoma City, and if he can give them legit minutes, the more the better.
Yeah, I mean, look, the bottom line is Luka and Kyrie are going to continue to play 40+. I think Gafford and Lively's combined minutes probably jump 10 minutes or so between the two of them with Maxi out. And then, you might have to play some small ball 5 with P.J. Washington, or you might get an occasional Markieff Morris or Dwight Powell appearance. So Jason Kidd's going to have to get creative. Could be a classic ride the hot hand. I mean, again, if on any given night, if just one of Exum, Green, or Tim can give you good minutes,
that's all you need.
You're pretty happy. That gets you kind of to that 8-man rotation if that can happen. All right, who's the most important role player versus Oklahoma City? Let us know in the comments. I think the combination at center, Coop, is key because I think you could bully Chet Holmgren a little bit in this series, and with Luka's physicality to get into the paint and to play that lob game with Lively in particular, but also with Gafford, who I thought was more assertive the last couple of games of that series, like that lower the shoulder just dunk he had on Zubats in that, was it the closeout game or second to last game? Like, I think those two got to flex their muscle a little bit, Lively and
agree.
Gafford, because I don't think OKC's got a bully down there that can hang with those two physically.
Yeah, that was one of our keys to victory. If you want to go watch our series preview, go check it out on youtube.com/MavsTV. You have to bully Chet Holmgren, and I think Lively and Gafford are equipped to do just that, especially Gafford for the most part. He's really going to get in there and try to throw his shoulder around at Chet and kind of just bully him on both ends of the floor.
Make him feel you.
Exactly. Make him feel you, and then maybe Chet gets into a foul trouble. He gets a little scared to play the game, and that's how you start winning games, is with the mental edge as well. So I really believe that the Mavs have the edge there, and I think those guys need to exploit that.
Well, one day away. Things get going tomorrow night. Game 1, Mavs Thunder in Oklahoma City. 8:30 tip. Will be live at 8:15 Central Time, so be sure to subscribe and join us for that. He's Jeff Cooper, and I'm Harrison Graham. We'll see you guys.
See you soon.